Western Europe has a thing or two to say about that.
Dude, one thing I just noticed, they've got 3 Grandmaster heroes. Morph, Timber, Ember, and even Cooper's Grandmaster on the Clockwork. So, a lot of Grandmasters this game. Got some comfort.
Just with Cube as well, I am really jealous of him because I have wanted that Clockwork set for a long time. This was a set that came from when there was that brief, like, Nexon arrangement in Korea, and you had to have, like, a Korean social security number, basically, to be able to get it. So it was, it's very rare, very pricey on the market. I actually
what do you like
Korea
about it
at the time, and I still couldn't get it. It's just cool and unique. I mean, these days there's Arcanas that are probably arguably cooler, but it's still unique, all right? I'm allowed to like what I like.
But hey, I'm not judging you, my guy. It's okay. Don't get defense. Jesus Christ. You got defensive so fast, calling you out for liking it.
I'm passionate about my cosmetics, all right?
I get it. All right, well, this is a great start to this bottom lane. Zani's in a lot of trouble, and he might go. Thomas not going to have too many trees to play with, but
that's a win.
That is a pretty big win. Yeah, that is a big win. He's going to have to go tree dance to escape and maybe get back to base a little bit faster, but see, yeah, that's going to set up bottom lane quite well now.
Theolico does have the Shadow Walk leveled up, though, instead of the Janata, so it's going to be a little bit until he can start the yoinking.
You see, though, from the it's from the esportsbet.io is favouring the lads a little bit more, D2 Hustlers. So, see, after a start like that, really our big question was how this bottom lane was able to go. So, I think that'd be nice. You do have already, though, the impetus leveled up from Vincento, so we're getting a choreo for good measure as well.
He'll have a fine time. He realizes how aggressive he can afford to be in this lane, going the Blightstone as well. Really just looking to get as much harassment in onto this Timber Saw while he can before those reactive armor stacks start to build up. I think you have to go at least 1 point into it because you can't afford to go into negative armor against this edge.
We'll quickly pull our attention just to mid, just to highlight how this matchup's going to shape up. Again, DK, you're going to have a great time versus the Ember. You're going to go... He's actually got a Glover Haze queued up, which is interesting. Seen a lot of DKs go double brace, so just for all the strength and all the damage to have an overwhelming right click over the Ember, but even the Dragon Tail makes it very difficult for Azantic to be able to last it. So Ember's going to have a great time. It's difficult for... So DK's going to have a great time. It's a bit awkward for the Ember to rotate as well, considering DK can put some pressure on the towers, but now that we've kind of highlighted that matchup, which will be the boring matchup, but all the side lanes, that's where we'll see a lot more of the action in this game one.
I'm just wondering, like, what Cube's highest priority is going to be on this top side. Like, he's going to be providing a little bit of assistance to Addy, who, speaking of which, just gets telekinesis back underneath the tower, but he'll be able to walk it off. Yeah, I really don't feel like they have too much kill threat at all for Yuma. It's really just going to be Hakoda that gets caught out, if at all. And, well, with the way that this lane is set up at the moment, and he's going to be able to get off this pull, doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Might even get a 3/4 pull. Nice.
So I have not seen this Rubik set. Is this new?
Nah.
It's very awesome. It's not. Okay.
It's an oldish one, I think.
You don't like that one? You're bagging me for thinking it's cool?
All
right. I'll remember that. Hey, your Clockwork set looks like shit, by the way.
Oh, it's not my set, okay? We like to support the workshop artists around here. If it was me, I would allow you to say that, but...
Enjoyment, you liking it. I'm bagging you for it.
It's a quick backpedal that you had there.
He called me out. I felt bad. I felt bad.
Theolico's doing exactly what he needs to on this bottom side of the map, man. This is like the 3rd wave that he's pulled behind the tier 1 tower. So I think this might just be for himself, because he's still level 1. You got to make sure that, you know, it's important to give Timbersaw a game. It's a good Timbersaw game, right? Against the Nature's Prophet, against the DK, but level 2, you need that on the Bounty Hunter just to ensure that your movements around the map and you're not suffering in terms of experience too much. Maybe once you're level 6, you can afford to be a little bit more selfless and still be that roaming ward style, but until then, you got to get some levels at least. Going to be able to get rid of the flag bearer creep as well. You know how important that is. That double gold over.
Now, what are we kind of hoping out of Theolacor in regards to his itemization on the bounty hunter? Is there any crafty cuteness he can go for?
I honestly don't think so. I don't think it's all that important what he goes. I mean, you might just opt to go into something like... I mean, do you need 4-staff against this? Probably not. Like, a Lotus Orb wouldn't be horrible if you could afford to go into that. It provides you a little bit of protection against the Dragon Tail stun, gets the enchant off of you, but 4-staff seems pretty standard to me as well.
I honestly would not hate if Theolacor tries to kill this last satyr at the camp near the outpost, because that could be a bit of an issue for the Timber. I mean, they've already used one of them. Could end up expiring. Top lane Cube getting a decent amount of damage into Yuma, but it's like he's going to be able to get back to safety thanks to the waveform, so he's chilling for the moment.
Man, how much of a night and day difference is this between the last series? 5 minutes, 0 kills, everyone's chill, farming, sitting back. No cares. No cares in the world.
Who cares? It could get... All of a sudden, maybe it could get crazy pretty shortly. But at least, like, at the moment, we're going to have a pretty even slate heading into the early game. Top side. Cube. Oh, they got first blood. And Cube... Oh, I thought he wasn't going to die in the end. Yuma should be able to trade the life, but it will be first blood going over towards Ivy.
There we go. The Dota gods listened. They were like, all right, let's give this guy some kills. Llama's got a big stack built up for himself as well. Look at how, like, this lane does not exist. They have not been in the lane for the longest time. This is the new Dire bottom lane.
We'll be able to feed the Jingu stacks over to Zani. Actually, even continuing to chase. Missing some creeps under the tower, and if Divine Llama can somehow get away from this, he's going to have a gigantic wave soon to soak. Looks like he might be in some trouble over. Zento's going to try and hold him down. Zani's really hasn't. They're missing still another wave, man. It's a costly chase.
Yeah, you have to make a decision at some point. Ooh, they get the Theolacor Courier. Yeah, Orbic Corrosion feels kind of nice as, yeah, Divine Llama, he's going to look to try and keep those stacks up onto him. Vincento is chasing him down, though. Has to be careful. One more... Oh, even the Rocket Flare nearly sniped that kill. One more impetus, and he's in a little bit of hot water. But he's just going to back up entirely. By the time the creep wave makes its way to the tower, he'll be able to drag it back, probably next to the tier 2.
Yeah. Now, we do see the mid matchup. Might be able to get the kill, actually. Cube with the wraparound. Yeah. Very nicely done. They've got a little bit of time left on the other dragon forms. We'll be able to get some damage into the tower. Bottom lane, though, they're also going to get a lot of damage into this tier 1. I don't know what the play is going to be for Divine Llama, because Sonic can kind of just zone out of FP range. They're going to be forced to even bring Theolacor in, but because of this tower might just go down. Even there's Addy as well.
There's an extent to which you could kite around, and I think maybe bringing 4 waves together was a little bit excessive.
Yeah. Oops, my bad, guys. Yeah. Look at that. I needed it.
Especially when you got Vincento with the Blightstone as well, right? Just a single right click, and then so much more damage that quad creep wave was able to do, plus the siege creep into the tower. Might end up getting the kill on him though.
We do see, though, with all that experience, he's found that 3rd point in the chain. Might be able to get a decent amount of damage in his Zani, but Divine Llama's going to look to back up, so has a wave. He wants to continue farming, so... Overall, first tower down bottom is not what you'd usually expect, especially when Ivy's going to be playing with the Dragon Knight. Xantic might be in some trouble. Going to be able to pick up the regen and look to get that remnant away. Might be forced to pop the regen, though, to help defend this tower. Now they'll actually turn to Theolacor instead. Stuck inside the cogs. Cube's made some great rotations so far with the clockwork, and he's going to be rewarded. But now Stoikov might be in some trouble. The Nature's Prophet wants to get involved. He's going to be in. He's got that sprout to hold Jakota back. You can try and cut through the trees. Is the poison going to be enough to tick him out? Looks like it will be the case. Stick still on cooldown, so another kill for Ivy to find. They're doing a great job to play around with this Dragon Knight.
They are indeed, and I mean, that's just the 2nd tower that they're able to get by the 8.5-minute mark of the game. Probably not something that they were expecting. at this stage. And, well, for the plus side for D2 Hustlers, Yuma's doing a good job on the top side. He's been relatively unopposed, but it's not like Addy's been getting nothing out of this lane either. He's been able to, you know, join into a few of these other fights and get some valuable kills.
And the action doesn't stop around the mid lane. Even Yuma's going to look to try and get involved as well as Cube. Once again, another good placement out of the cogs helps him get some separations. Going to look for the Roche deny, but Yakota sold on that Fey Bolt to be able to get rid of him. So, you know, level 5 on the Rubik's always going to be nice, closing in on that 10-minute mark to be able to find the tone. But overall, though, Ivy, they've been able to accumulate quite the net worth lead at this stage of the game.
I'd be looking to give the tome over to Theola Core, though. And speaking of him, he's actually going to walk right underneath the Sentry Ward. So you're going to wait until the last possible second to make the go in onto him, pop the dust as well.
Hustlers do still have some members nearby. Theola Core, regardless, will go down. They might be able to turn to Kikoda next as well. Cube, he's got the movement speed to work with, but again, the Sprout's going to be on the mark for Addy. They just need the train to get in front, and which is just going to be a little bit too late.
Keeps going in real deep, though. He's got plenty of items to be able to do it, creating a lot of space.
Suikov's got Blink.
I see. That is an early Blink.
They have a smoke? They do. All right, let's see. Yuma's probably the ideal target for them to catch him off guard with that instant stun. They might not have the damage for it without the Wrath of Nature. We'll see how they look to try and take this. Yuma not playing with the greatest health pool at the moment. He's going to have to be cautious. Vision, of course, of the Dragon Eye.
It's so close, but he's gone a little bit too far forward now, yeah. They're going to be happy enough just to push, I feel. Of course. The Morphling kill would have been amazing. The only one that's having a game that they could be satisfied with at this stage on D2 Hustlers. But Divine Llama, he's getting into some of those items that's going to enable it a little bit further for him. He's got the Soul Ring finished up. He's starting to build up into the Sange. And really, he wants to try and open up this map alongside the Siege Creep.
We do see with this level advantage. No, Shoko.
No, I was about to say, I think they gave the tome over to the Bounty Hunter as well. He's almost level 6.
Top lane Yakuda. He stole the trees and is chasing down Addy. Should be able to get the kill into that Ish Prophet. Mid lane, oh sorry, bottom lane now, Divine Llama. Oh, very, very low to the comp of Coop and Zani, but wasn't enough to get the kill. And now the creep should be able to bring the tower down as well. So, some nice sequence of events for Dire.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Llama being very cheeky here, but by doing that, he actually cancels his own salve that he had onto him and are able to get the turnaround kills. So, at least in my cosmetics, I've still got the tower that are hands, and he waved the finger right at Divine Llama as he went down there. What's your favorite tower?
You got that one?
The hands, the finger?
Dragon-looking one. I can't call it like that one.
Well, track's up online, so you're going to be able to make a lot more plays around this Ember Spirit. And, you know, oftentimes you say, look, you need to make a choice, right? You need to choose between farming and fighting. Bounty Hunter means that you don't actually have to make that choice. You can farm and fight at the same time, especially if it's around a creep wave, and you're able to just push that one in naturally as well. Obviously, one of the best targets at this stage would be Addy on the Nature's Prophet. Very few defensive tools available to himself, and they've got plenty of ways to be able to cancel out that teleportation back to base. You will see the track onto him, though, so Cube making sure not to back off too far. Actually found the bounty instead.
We should have put Nature. Another dev for Theola Core is having a bit of a difficult time to enter this first game. See what they're able to do to set him up, but I mean, before that, it's going to be Ivy that's looking to continue to put the pressure onto this. They've got another round of the Elder Dragon form. Of course, Dire can look to for a moment with Glyph. Meanwhile, mid lane is also getting a decent amount of damage as this Nature just respond to it. Meanwhile, though, the fight can.
That's a way to respond.
That is a way. Get rid of it instead. Cube though is going to run into Divide Llama. Oh, not Yuma though this time. Kind of gives him as well. It's like well deserved. Yuma, I remember this small thing is top for the now 0 and 2, and of course he is granted a march of very third.
A little surprised he was able to get that solo kill onto the Enchantress. I mean, she's decently tanky. I suppose she just walked a little bit too far up. They've got decent vision around that high ground as well, which you could most of the time afford to have your Enchantress break, but probably needs at least level 10 to feel a lot more confident with doing that.
Let's see if there's going to be a response to the mid lane tower starting to fall, and Ivy won't be able to gear up a defense, so D2 Hustlers, it was looking like a bit of a... Oh, actually, top lane, cute. Be able to get the hook shot onto Kyoto. Not the most valuable pickup, but at least Zani's going to be able to get some bonus gold given over to the Monkey King. But yeah, we saw a very slight net worth lead for the boys on Radiant, but D2 Hustlers have done a pretty good job to kind of, you know, slow down the lead that was starting to grow for Ivy.
I wonder with this Bounty Hunter as well, with his item build, he's going into the Arcane Boots next, which I don't hate. You know, just more time that you're able to spend out on the map. But could he be going into the Greaves? Could he be the substitute for the Timbersaw, who looks to be going a much more aggressive style on Divine Llama? Just the 2 points and the reactive armor getting him through that laning stage, but he wants to be a damage dealer, and I like this strat a lot.
Well, we've seen this would have a lot of recent success, though. Is there any way that maybe Ivy to itemize to help address the timber that might be an issue shortly?
I think it could potentially be an issue. The thing that has a much more of an issue, though, is this Nature's Prophet. He's just picked up the Aghanim Scepter for himself. Not quite yet level 10, so he's not going to have the talent for it, but, well, let's see if he's able to respond together with this push onto the top side. Stoikov, even with that super early blink, we haven't seen him get too much value from it, and he's holding onto a lot of gold as well, so yet to see what he's actually going to spend it on. He's had the BKB queued up for quite some time, and they actually just blow up on the clockwork there. They're actually tempting for more as well. Divine Llama, even just with that Sanj, feels so much more confident. It's going to be even more so once he gets the 400 gold needed for the Kaya. So they're stalling out fairly well here on D2 Hustlers for this next little bit. They were feeling a little bit pressured behind the 8 ball, let's say. Tier 1 tower, excuse me, mid and bottom going down at the 9-minute mark, but they've held on to most of them since then. Stoikov.
This would be a big kill if they're able to find a top, and they should be able to with Divine Llama here for the damage. Stoikov's going to go down. First death of the game here for the Dragon Knight. It's going to slow down that BKB timing. Now Divine Llama.
He wants more.
And he should be able to find it as well. There's not much Vicento can do. Maybe Zani. Cube though can prove to be a deterrent. Cog's going to hold him into place. Zani's been able to stack up the Jingu, and as a result of this, Divine Llama's in some trouble. Stolen Dragon Tail from Yakoda, and Divine Llama blows him up, and now Vicento as well. They're looking to chase down for another track kill. Theolacor, he's got the drums to work with. Divine Llama doesn't have too much mana though, but maybe a chakram from afar. The nice sidestep's going to be able to keep him light, but importantly, a lot of kills and a lot of track kills as well for D2 Hustlers. So all of a sudden, they're up to a 3,000 net worth lead.
Yep. Like I was saying, you got to choose between fighting and farming. Well, that's basically only the case for Yuma. He is going to have the rest of the boys making the space for him to be able to just sit back, farm, play this super passive style. As well, they actually have found a bit of a pick-off in this mid lane with Hakoda. Looks like they should be able to confirm this kill with that E making the TP in. Oh, and another kill onto Theolacor. All right. Wonder if this leads Zani into going a point in the Wukongs, because it feels like that would have almost certainly secured a kill onto the Timbersaw with the combination with the Clockwork Cogs.
Speaking of the Timber, he actually might be in some trouble at the moment. He's playing super aggressive on Divine Llama. Very, very impressed so far with how much action we're seeing out of him across the map. Like you're seeing, going for this build, dealing crap load of damage. Of course, the Bleeding Dagger as well, so that's going to further enable his positions either. It's a great spot for them to fight. They've got a a ward towards the backline where Ivy are currently set up, so
Yeah, they're going for the pincer.
just gonna be let down, so the scout feel a call. Not near the high ground, Yuma gets a cut down. Oh, beautifully done. And that cube as well, he's gonna be blown up. No regards for his own life, and Vincent will be chased down as well for D2 Hustlers, continuing to find more track kills.
And they're even just going to have that Blink Dagger finished up off the back of that. There's the value of the track, of course, right? You just build up your net worth so much faster. It enables this really aggressive style. And it's always been a good Timbersaw game. Like, that has not changed by any stretch. The fact that they were able to get out of the laning stage off the back of just a single death for Divine Llama. He's even taking away a stack from Team Ivy. Might be picking up a few of these neutral items as well. You've got to make sure you get... it's just a dagger restore. It's not that great. But every little bit counts. And like Ares was saying, with that Blink Dagger, it just allows him to find those key targets super quickly. Get onto the tree that the Monkey King jumps into, instantly use the Whirling Death, get onto the Nature's Prophet while he's still without this BKB. And it's been quite some time that he is without that. They've actually even scouted him out. Addy did the track onto him from Theolacor. And is he going into a drums of his own on the Bounty Hunter? It seems like he is. So the one pop previously was on Vincento. It's going to be Theolacor this time around, just enabling a bit more of that group up and push style that they've been so successful in the past 10 minutes.
Hang on, did he sell it? He sold it.
No, it was the Ench that popped it on that retreat.
No way. Was it?
Yep. You just move faster when you track someone, so that's why he was able to like still catch.
What? I clicked on him. He had arms. God. Okay. It's another really good ward smoking underneath it. So I have full confirmation of what's about to occur. What's the call going to be? They're going to look to try and back up.
They even did the right thing as well, dropping Sentry Ward high ground, dropping Sentry Ward in the lane, but...
Hookshot's there. They still got the Aghanim Shard though for the Morphling, so with this early pickup, he's going to be protected, and now he's going to turn it back around off the back of the double damage rune. You won't be able to have any more follow-up though. Pretty good pog, so they'll be alright.
We've seen that Elder Dragon form popped as well. No Lotus Orb picked up just yet. So unless he wants to pop the BKB, he's fully going to be under the cover of the track. A little odd, to be honest, that Theolacor still went off into that lane, but I suppose if they're spending the ads...
might be in some trouble. Protected with the BKB for the moment. Divine Llama's going to jump in and look at the damage. Orcheries surrounding them. Stoikov as well moving over the right side, but it's not enough. They need a way to stop the Timber, and they won't find it. Simultaneously, even the down as well as this net worth lead starting to get to a concerning stage.
It is, and you know, once again, this is the way that D2 Hustlers play. Like, this is their 101 pick around the Timbersaw, because you can play it amazingly on Divine Llama, ads can play it very well as well, and they protected it with the main bans that were going to get them through the laning stage, and just with how they were able to manipulate the lanes too. I have to wonder how much this bounty hunter was there with just like we need a fast position 4 to be able to, you know, pull these waves and not be under too much stress. Yuma, is he going to Ags? Yeah, he does have Ags on Yuma at the moment, so some nice quick early items. I love the fact that he wasn't selfish and went into the Aghanim Shard super early on. Prevented him from dying. 4-0 and 6. And unless you're going to get a really cool hookshot play here from Cube, it's going to be completely uncontested. They even see him as well because of that ward.
Cube? One, my friend!
Poor guy.
No. Yeah, not much on him. Not much on him.
So you're playing against 2 tree people, a person that doesn't want to be hit by magic damage in the Enchantress, and 2 strength heroes. Like, I have not seen too many better Timbersaw games than this one. He's even working towards his own axe.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Very close to it. Very, very close to it here for Divide. Shiva's now queued up afterwards as well. They're going to try and look to smoke on D2 Hustlers.
Seems like they're trying to just slowly keep this lane pushed in with rocket flares, bring attention away from themselves in any way possible, just make them play a lot more defensively. We've got Vincento walking around here, and he's looking to try and get a bit of escape happening, but I don't think it's going to. Beyond godlike now on Divine Llama after that initial death. 10 kills in a row. He's not. That's not enough. He wants more.
Be able to find it. Cute. Trying to get some distance away. Hookshot might.
That just reveals Stoikov's position.
Of course he's there. BKB defensive. Not what you're hoping for.
They're able to get a little bit of a push happening into this bottom side off of the back of the creep that Enchantress died for and the Satyr Tormentor. He's brought it a little bit too close to the tower though, so it's getting chunked down a lot. But, I mean, maybe it brings someone back. Maybe the Nature's Prophet just keeps summoning the trees, keeps hitting it into that tier 2 tower, but he's going to need to be a little bit careful here. Should see where Addy is, and he doesn't have a BKB still, so he should really die.
Addy? Trying to do what he can to stall this game out, man, but it's continuing to look rough with the trajectory of this game.
I mean, the thing for me is, like, who is going to win this game for you is the question that I'm going to keep going back to. Maybe it's Stoikov, honestly, just on this Dragon Knight. Yeah, he doesn't have the most net worth, but he's building into that Aghanim Scepter. He's able to potentially withstand a lot of that damage that Timbersaw is able to outlay once he picks that one up, just because of the some of the resistance that it provides. But I think they got to start prioritizing these BKBs ASAP. Like, Monkey King got one. It's 9 seconds, but he hasn't really used it. Use it into the Timber.
Top tower is under attack.
Stoikov top, they are scouting. Okay, just going to be able to jump away. Never mind. Pretty good reactions out of the Dragon Knight. Should be okay.
Still losing your map though. Bot lane might be in a decent place for Ivy, but top isn't. Mid still pushed in as well. Can't afford to pop the glyph either for any more defensive potential. You got to save it for that high ground push, because it really does feel like that's maybe where they can look to turn this one around. It'd be off the back of Hugh. Just a great hook shot into the cogs, isolate the fight, and maybe you can actually outnumber them for a change.
Stoikov. Oh, they're going to be able to blow him up, but even before the BKB, they're just doing so much damage. What's the response?
Yeah, the vision placed down there by Hakoda, revealing everything. Lift into morph, into stun, into see you later, bye. Well, we've got Yuma solo hitting this, but that's just because he's got an Aegis for the next minute. He's almost got enough of the Satanic as well. And Divine Llama, he has no cares in the world. He's just going to go in, pick up those free targets wherever he can, get the flamethrower into the buildings as well, as it really feels like D2 Hustlers have this one sewn up. They're going to clear out one wave. Probably don't feel like they need to stick around for more than that. Play on the safer side, get back, continue to grow that net worth lead for themselves, and yeah, now with that Satanic, Yuma is just going to be full HP, ready to fight in with the rest of the boys.
What an interesting game, though. Like, everything went fine to start, lanes were great, then all of a sudden it's just bounty hunter things.
It's Timbersaw things, not bounty hunter things.
That's true. Sorry, that is very true, but it's like the Timbersaw things are.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
You could just go for kills over and over again, and you've got probably the best hero to do that against Ivy's lineup. They still haven't de-watered this high ground. Eventually they're going to go for it, but yeah, the Centaur, yep, just gets blown up. You know what that means?
Not the last bit, no.
You're dead.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, that's no good. That's not what you're hoping for.
They've nearly been able to claim a tier 1, but never mind the deny. It's still something. Now, if they could somehow get up onto the enemy side of the map, take away the outpost around the Roche Pit, the issue is, though, D2 Hustlers don't necessarily need to be playing up there. They can look to take away this bottom tier 2 tower, the last outer bastion for them to be able to play with. Ivy putting a lot more pressure onto just keeping any sort of farming areas for themselves, and doesn't really feel like there's too much that's going to save them in this next little bit. Timber once again goes for that deep dive, finds the clockwork. So we're predicting a Timber ban in the next game?
Maybe. Even an Ember potentially dead though as well. It's Antic. Nice use of the slide. It's going to be able to dodge some of the projectiles. Meanwhile, even off the screen, Dwight is hooking kill after kill, forcing out BKB. Even Splickle has to use defensively.
Oh, did you see that Manta?
It doesn't look like it's going to matter. Yuma get outside, turn his attention over the DK, back to Abdeko. The TP shot short. This is... feels like it's getting to all the territory of D2 Hustlers. An incredible showing for them in their debut.
I need to see a replay of that. Did you see that Manta style from the Morphling?
No,
I don't want to even comment on it. We need to just see it again for it to be revealed in its full... maybe it was luck, but I'm going to say it was skill. You know, Yuma just able to dodge out a really vital skill in that last engagement. Like, look at him. He's buying mangoes as well, just because he doesn't want to go back to base. He wants to keep the pressure on.
That's great top bar. They really keeps up. Niggins trying to drag the wave, but it's not going to be able to work out for him.
Doesn't seem like we'll get a replay. That's all right. He Manta dodged hook shot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty amazing.
No way. Really?
That's what you do. 360 no scope on him as well with the flamethrower.
Oh no! Oh come on now, Divide Llama's even dropping some. I mean that's a pretty cool. I don't even know what that is. A little emoji thingy. I've never seen that one before.
Timbersaw slicing the leaf.
Yeah.
I mean, against the Enchantress, it feels worth it. Against the Nature's Prophet.
Oh, dude, they're dead already, man. You're even using that your own dead voice line, and now you're even adding that as well. Salt to the wounds.
They knew. They knew that this was coming. They made the voice line specifically for this series. Seeing if they could scout out the Monkey King inside the trees, but I mean, he's holding on to 4k gold. Sunny needs to make something happen in this next little bit. Sure, it's important to save for buyback, but you got to do some damage, and it's going to be on the back of a Desolator. Not farming. They need to try and blow someone up.
Someone is going to be. I've lost even trying to clear away all the trees that Sonic can play with, and it'll just be the melee barracks that does get claimed. And you've got root up in the next 40 seconds. It looks like D2 Hustlers is going to try and play this one a little bit safe and wait for that one before he's out this game. Quite long. It's the fight over that one. We'll see him alone at the moment. They're on top of the world comes to man, but they're some distance away. Now it's given enough time for the boys to react. A beautiful boundless check onto from you to replicate a monkey. And that what a demolishing game from D2 Hustlers.
I might have seen wrong, but Hakoda might have just planted a tree in the middle of that lane so that he was able to get away.